On today's news headline, we'll be talking about an intervention by the Central Bank of Nigeria. As we know, on October 12, 2023, the Central Bank of Nigeria issued a press statement. And in this statement, it was emphasizing its commitment to ensuring boosting liquidity in the foreign exchange market. And as part of this, commitment, what it had done was to remove certain restrictions that had been placed on 43 import items. Now, let's backtrack to 2015. In 2015, the CBN had issued in about June 2015, it had issued a circular and some other amendments thereafter, where it essentially placed restrictions on importers of 43 items from being able to access foreign exchange in the official market. That's our investors and importers, the I&E window. Now, what was the reason for these items? Now, these were items like rice, cement, kitchen utensils, palm products, steel, and these were items that the central bank felt could be produced locally, and the request for foreign exchange to import those items were further weakening the strength of the naira and also increasing inflation and increasing demand on foreign exchange. Now we're here in 2023 and the CBN has decided to remove that restriction and enable importers of those items to now be able to access the I&E window. Now, what is the reason? Now, the first is that by placing that restriction, what this did was that importers had to now access the parallel markets, and this further increased the surplus demand on foreign exchange and further weakened the naira. Another reason is that this went against the foreign exchange principle of a willing buyer and a willing seller. We know that where there's a willing seller, there should be a willing buyer. And what this does is that it ensures that there's supply in the market when there's demand. So now the CBN is trying to foster the willing buyer and willing seller principle once again. Another reason is that the fact that they had to access this market and just the uncertainties in being able to access foreign exchange have translated into higher cost of living because goods are now higher. And then this has translated into a higher cost of living for the populace and has also just increased inflation. Now, another thing that we also know is that the CBN has been trying to unify all market participants in the foreign exchange ecosystem into a unified market, and we've seen this developments in the past couple of months. Now, another question that you may ask is, does this now go against the idea that these products can be produced locally? And no, not really, because we know that it's not through bans, restrictions, and harsh policies that would foster local production. However, what fosters local production is infrastructure and enabling environments, enabling policies. So the fact that the CBN is removing the restriction doesn't mean that it's not promoting local production. We just need to do more work to actually ensure that there's local production. We also know that since 2015 and in the past couple of years, a lot of businesses have had to shut down because of unfair, the unenabling environment and just the harsh economic conditions. And it is hoped that now that there's a unified market and there should be, increase or a balance of demand and supply, that these businesses are able to open up again. And because they can now access the goods that they need to produce, then perhaps this will translate into lower costs for the populace, increase employment, and just a reduction in inflation generally. So we're just hoping and speculating that under the leadership of Dr. Yemi Cardoso, the CBN can continue to introduce interventions that would actually be effective. Thank you, and that's your news headline for today.